Hey, what's up, guys? As we all know, Trump supporters are fucking retarded. Hashtag not all Trump supporters. Man, that was a sass beginning, wasn't it? We all know that a stereotypical Trump supporter is fucking retarded. How lots of them are. There are some other people. Man, we're getting way off topic already. Okay, you know the stereotypical Trump supporter, the people that you see on the internet all the time, just spewing the most retarded ass bullshit. Just as stupid as a radical left. How many times do I have to say this? But these comments, like, as soon as I get used to the amount of stupidity I see from radical Trump supporters, they just up the ante and they become even stupider and just more not based on any sense of reality whatsoever. It's just like, just what I'm used to, I'm just like, yeah, that's just how people are. That's just how the radical right are, whatever. Just I get used to it, doesn't bother me. Then they just go to a whole new level and just blow my mind in reaching absurd levels of retardedness. Is that a word? It should be, if it isn't. So I just have to highlight these comments and say, and I'm going to categorically prove them wrong one by one and say, no, it's not just an opinion. They say something, and then I will just do a Google search and show that, no, this did indeed happen, not the way you said. And it's just like, I don't know how these people first make an email account, then they make a Facebook account to link to that email, and then they sign up for MSN and are able to post comments. And just like, you can do all that, but you can't do a Google search to answer your own fucking goddamn question. That just makes absolutely no sense. They can do something more advanced, internet-wise, than just doing a Google search. Doing a Google search is literally the easiest thing in the world. You don't have to have an account. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to pay for anything. You just go to google.com and type it in. I don't understand how these people cannot do it because it takes 2 fucking seconds. So the article is about Trump's address during Ramadan. I'm not even talking about the article. I don't care about the article. I don't care what he has to say. As I've said before, I don't care about politicians' word. I call about their actions. So I just don't give a shit what he says. I just don't care. I'm just beyond caring at this point. Well, a comment is that whenever any article mentions Islam or Muslims in any capacity, even if it's a Muslim who was a scientist and discovered something, people just go in there and bash Islam, post all this ridiculous fucking shit, no matter what the context. They see Muslim or Islam and they just post the radical shit. So I was going to go to the comments of this article and just see how fucking batshit crazy they are. Not all of them are. The first one actually was level-headed and actually against Trump. Usually when there's a Trump article, most of the people who comment are Trump supporters, because they're the people who read it. But this one, no, he perfectly sums up this video in a nutshell. Ken Haygood says, I think this is a good example of Trump and most Trump supporters' problem. They are very single-minded. In their minds, all Muslims are terrorists, period. Not open discussion. All Mexican are illegal immigrants. They just haven't crossed the border yet. All women wanting an abortion are just using it as birth control because they're irresponsible. All people on food stamps are just abusing the system. All people collecting government assistance are lazy bums. There are no other reasons in their mind, and they'll never listen to anything that goes against their preconceived convictions. Now, I don't agree with every single part of those sentences. Most Trump supporters don't think that all Mexicans are illegal immigrants, obviously. But the point he was driving is that Trump supporters have this belief in their mind that A, B, and C happens. And no matter how much evidence you show to them to the contrary, that no, A, B, and C didn't happen, it was actually X, Y, Z, you painstakingly show them all this objective data. Not just opinions. I don't care about some liberal op-ed that shows why Trump is wrong, or why this was disastrous, or why Trump did this. I just don't care. The actual hard data, the actual events that happened, not people's opinions. And they just don't give a shit, as we will just go see right now. The second comment, Tammy Kleteka, my takeaway is a question. Do Muslims feed the poor? I didn't know this. How come I don't know this? I know the Christians all over the world saving whole villages, digging wells, supporting education in industry, in remote and impoverished places, funding adoption schools, domestic violence centers, blah, 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 blah. I just never heard of Islamic charities. Do they just help Muslims? I'm not denying that Christians do that around the world. That's not the issue I have with her statement. But what she's inferring is that Muslims don't feed the poor, they don't help people that aren't Muslim, and that she's never heard of it, therefore she doesn't think that they do it. And it's just like, just do the Google search. Hashtag just do it. Can we steal that from Nike and make that a hashtag of just doing the fucking goddamn Google search? I'll do it right now. I don't even need to do Google search. I already know on the top of my head. Islamic Relief helped during Hurricane Sandy, during the hurricane in Haiti, I believe in 2009. Let's check where that was. Haiti earthquake. 2010. Yes, that was it. Islamic Relief helped with Hurricane Sandy 2012 and also helped in the 2010 Haiti earthquake. Now, I know this is like a leap in logic here, but I'm going to assume that most Haitians are not Muslim, okay? They're actually not Muslim. So this is one example, just off the top of my head, that I can list, that an Islamic charity helped non-Muslims. They helped the poor. They helped rebuild industry. They helped to give all these goods out. 2 seconds on Google. It just... How does this stupid fucking goddamn bitch, Tammy Kliteka, how does she not know this? Why couldn't she answer her own question? Why could she have asked, do Muslims feed the poor? Do Islamic charities only help Muslims? Why couldn't she type that into Google and she would find out the answer for herself? There is nothing barring her from doing that, which is why I know the conclusion of this is that she chooses to remain in ignorance. Ignorance is bliss. She doesn't have to worry about it. She doesn't have to worry about facts and events that actually happened, contradicting her narrative. She chooses not to do that Google search because there's nothing physically barring her. If she can make an account, make an email account, make a Facebook account to link to that email, and then comment on an MSN page, certainly she has a technological capability to do a Google search. There is no way she can't not know how to do that, but yet know how to do all the email stuff I just mentioned. There's no fucking way. She chooses to remain in ignorance. That was just one example. And you're going to say, well, Robert, that's just one example. That doesn't mean that there's a trend. That doesn't mean that Islamic charities help non-Muslims in general. I know, but all you need is one statement, one fact to break the statement of, yes, some Muslim charities do. So let's just put Muslim charities. Here's the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, which is an offshoot of the Red Cross. The Red Crescent is the Islamic wing of that. And look at all these places, all these non-Muslim places that they do work, like Barbados, in Bolivia, in Brazil, in Canada, in Colombia, in Costa Rica, in Dominican, all these countries that are predominantly Muslim, so I can guess that when something happens, the majority of aid goes to Muslims. And look at all these countries. Venezuela, Uruguay, Paraguay, Mexico, Jamaica. Look at all of these places where Muslim charities help non-Muslims. But how did I do that? How did I figure that out? Oh, a simple Google search that Tammy Kliteka couldn't figure out how to do. I categorically proved her wrong. I objectively proved her wrong. Because I'm not just saying my opinion on whether this aid is good or whether it's enough or whether Muslims do too little or too less when it comes to helping non-Muslims. That's just opinion. That's just you arbitrarily assigning value to something. Oh yeah, it's enough, it's not enough. It's just my opinion. There's no objective, thing to say whether it's enough or enough. All I'm saying is that she says, I never heard of Muslims helping non-Muslims when it comes to charity feeding the poor. And I just pulled up a couple examples right there. That takes 2 fucking seconds to do. This is the reality that Trump supporters live in. She lives in reality along with millions of other Trump supporters, and Muslims don't care about anyone but themselves. They don't help non-Muslims, and it's just like your opinion does not correlate with reality whatsoever. It just flat out doesn't. There is no different interpretation of events or organizations or just facts, like interpretation of different scenarios that could lead to your conclusion. There is just no way. Wayne Marcia Taylor says, they're a pastor, talking about Christian radicalism right here. This is a Christian person, a pastor, making the most ridiculous, biased, retarded-ass statements. And they see no confliction of these statements with their Christian faith. That's why Christians have no problem walking into Iraq and slaughtering Muslims by the tens of thousands, because they are non-believers. They are not as good as Christians. They are subhuman. We're getting off topic here. So Wayne Marcia Taylor, I often wonder, when these atrocities of Muslims occur across the world, where are these so-called modern Muslims? They should be demonstrating publicly by their voices, demonstrations, editorials, how much they oppose Muslim terrorists are doing. Of course, there are a few, but Muslims in large numbers should be publicly demonstrating in the streets opposition to what's happening in the name of the religion, but they're usually very silent. Where are the moderates? Do they fear the religion and what would happen if they did such a thing? I believe so. Either that or they actually agree with what's happening, which I hope not. that's my reaction to almost everything. It's just like, just in complete shock of how dumb this person is. All you have to do is Google Muslims demonstrate against terrorism, Muslims protest against extremism in the name of their religion. All you have to do is Google Muslim leaders condemning terrorism, and you will get hundreds and hundreds of hits. You can read for days of how Muslims are condemning terrorism in the name of their faith. How does Wayne Marcia Taylor not know that? How could he not possibly not be able to do the Google search to figure out his own question? These people are so fucking ignorant. They choose not to do the Google search. They know if they did that Google search, their results will contradict their narrative. Therefore, they don't do it. They remain in ignorance and bliss. Charlene Frankie says, speech framed around terrorism. Really? Children murdered in the UK, another Egyptian bus blown up with 29 people killed, the Paris massacre, etc. Well, just good for him to bring it up so the non-radical Muslims can aid in the fight against ISIS and other radical groups. Trump knows precisely what he was doing, what he is saying. What are the non-radical Muslims doing to stop this? What? Nothing. How? How could you fucking say this? Non-radical Muslims doing nothing against fighting radical Muslims? Who are the Kurds fighting ISIS in Iraq and Syria right now, dying by the hundreds and thousands, fighting without the aerial support that our troops have? They're fighting tooth and nail against ISIS. And guess what they are? They're fucking Muslims. And guess what? They're fighting ISIS. They are killing ISIS by the hundreds and thousands. They are dying also by the hundreds of thousands. And what are you doing? You're sitting on Facebook posting ignorant fucking shit because you're fucking retarded. You don't know how to do a fucking Google search and Google Kurds fighting ISIS. I mean, just how dumb do you have to be? You honestly think that non-radical Muslims are doing nothing? That's what you said. What? Nothing. In all caps, you honestly believe they are doing fucking nothing. Google how many non-radical Muslims turn in other Muslims who they know are radicalized. That's how so many of these terrorist plots are stopped, because Muslims go to the police and they say, hey, my friend, my sibling, my brother, whatever, is saying weird, really radical stuff. He posted radical stuff on Facebook. I'm really concerned. Can you take a look? And they stop plots. Non-radical Muslims have saved countless lives by going to the police, by going to the authorities in their respective countries and stopping radical Muslim plots. How is that nothing? How is saving countless lives doing nothing? Just Charlene Frankie, you stupid fucking retard. You have no idea what you're talking about. You literally have no idea what you're talking about. And yet, thousands of people can go on MSN and look at your ignorant statement, and this is how people are brainwashed. This is how the radical right are brainwashing the younger generation, because they see this and they just think it's fact. All the Egyptians fighting ISIS in the Sinai Peninsula, non-radical Muslims fighting ISIS, taking it to them, destroying their cells in the Sinai Peninsula. The Pakistani military fighting the Taliban. Just how many examples do you want me to pull? I can go through the whole globe if you want, but that's just 3 right off the bat, and since you said nothing, I needed was one example, the first one, the Kurds against ISIS, to prove your statement fucking wrong. This is what I'm talking about. It's not just a matter of opinion of whether Muslims are doing enough or whether they're fighting in a certain way or doing enough to combat terrorism, because enough is just your opinion. No, she said they're doing nothing, and I just proved examples. You could look up how the Kurds are fighting ISIS, how we are helping the Kurds take back ISIS territory. How is that nothing? The last one I'm going to say is Russ Mengel said, Obama ignored the terrorist threat for 8 years. Okay, that's why he drone striked the living fuck out of like 8+ Islamic countries. Yeah, that's ignoring it. In their fucked up mind, Obama was a closet Muslim, appeasing radical Muslims. Oh, that's why he bombed radical Muslims, and civilians too, but we're getting off topic, in Somalia, in Yemen, in Nigeria, in Libya, in Syria, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan. Yeah, because he really loved Islamic terrorists. He was really a closet Muslim. He was really a Muslim Brotherhood plant in the White House, and that's why he killed radical Muslims by the thousands. Wow, Russ Mengel, how is drone striking ISIS and drone striking the Taliban ignoring the threat? You dumb motherfucker. And then he goes on. Now we have leaked emails released by WikiLeaks that show Obama and Hillary Rodham Clinton were financing ISIS. They were. I agree with that statement. But you know who also financed ISIS just a couple of goddamn fucking days ago, which I already put in my previous video? Trump. Trump gave billions of dollars of military aid and vehicles and weapons and training to the fucking Saudis. And guess who the Saudis financially support? ISIS. We've already shown reports how Saudi weapons end up in the hands of ISIS, who attack us with the weapons that we gave them in the first place. You stupid retard. Do you not pay attention to the news? The big deal that Trump did with Saudi Arabia, giving them all this fucking military aid and all these military sales. But you just don't care. All you care about is, you're so partisan. You don't care about actually supporting terrorism. You're fine with supporting terrorism as long as your candidate is doing it, as long as it's in a war that you support. But as soon as the other side does it, well then Obama, oh, he's horrible. He's so bad. It was just, look at the candidate you supported, you dumb motherfucker. Trump's doing the exact same fucking thing. But you don't say anything about it because it contradicts your narrative. So that's the end, okay? That's just the 4 or 5 comments I wanted to highlight. Because we're like 17 minutes after editing in this video, and I'm so pissed off because these people are so dumb. It takes 2 seconds to contradict what they're saying. Is Russ Mengel going to say, well, Trump really didn't give the Saudis money? Like, are you going to deny that? It's all over the news. It was the international headline. That's what he went to Saudi Arabia for. How are you going to deny that? Are you going to deny that Saudi Arabia gives money to ISIS? That's been well documented for years. How the fuck are you going to deny all that? That's what you have to do in order to prove yourself right. There's no fucking way you can do that. This is reality that Trump supporters live in, that Muslims do not help non-Muslims at all. The poor, the needy, in times of disasters, they don't help them at all. Non-radical Muslims don't do anything against radical Muslims. They don't fight them at all. They don't sacrifice anything like their lives or their livelihood against radical Muslims. And Trump doesn't support ISIS, but Obama does. I mean, that's the batshit crazy reality they live in, which of course, as we know, is not real. That's why you saw those interviews leading up to the election where Trump supporters were like, well, yeah, Obama started the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. And it's just like, you're literally 1984. You were literally rewriting history. No, Bush didn't start those wars. Obama did. Rewriting the textbooks, rewriting the history books to support your narrative. And anyone who says anything contrary is just a Muslim sympathizer. I'm just virtue signaling to Muslims in this whole video. It's just fuck you, man.